Hi, Aquarius. It's Angela. We're here to do your October reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. As we always say, this is soul guidance. This is your inner being and the energy within you, where you can shift your focus to any one aspect of yourself and move toward a point of growth or a simple acknowledgement of that trait or sort of facet of who you are. And this, we're doing this reading for October. And like I always like to say, timing, intuition is not according to timing. It's really, it's an evergreen kind of a quality that you maybe, I'm reading this in October for the month of October, but since it's a general reading, it's really kind of in a capsule by itself, and it can be taken to any timeline that you wish. Thanks for being at my channel here. Subscribe and like and do all the things, leave me a comment and do those things that help it to grow. And with that, let's go forward. We usually pull one oracle card to give us a direction or a theme and a topic of focus. And it's coming from this deck this time, the Soul's Journey. This is your higher self, kind of giving you little reminders of how to proceed and what you can focus on and evolve with. And for you, Aquarius, I pulled friendship. It says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. All right, so I'm thinking of one particular Aquarian friend of mine. Hi, Patty, whom I love. And yeah, this is beautiful. So I'll try not to keep mentioning you throughout this, but this is wonderful that this came up because, you're one of my dearest friends. I know you know that. Okay, so let's see what the cards say. Really, what this is kind of giving us. I love the artwork on these cards too. They're just beautiful. But what this is kind of giving to us is the knowledge that, our friends come into our lives for a reason, to help us to, so that we can teach one another, right? To love, to trust, to, admire and be, be exposed to other ways of seeing things sometimes. And then those souls come together to teach one another, right? And some friendships are in your life, for a year, and some are for a lifetime. So the goal of it, or the point of it, is the soul connection and the teaching, and that is eternal. So whether that person is physically in your world for a short time, this connection is forever, right? And the lessons that you learned and the knowledge that you gained and the evolving that you did through that connection, right? And for the longer term friendships, a true friend will kind of like shine a light on your path, like on your best qualities and on the way to go forward. And they don't dim your light, they don't block you, they don't judge you or anything. So that it's like added oxygen to be able to have a true friendship like that. Yeah, so, and usually you're communicating on a soul level. Okay, so now let's move to the Zen cards and see what they say. All right, here we go. So we have this tree spread, and we're doing the starting point is here on this set of branches, and then we have the trunk here that moves us to a higher level of awareness, and then we have what we get to enjoy with our higher self on board here, the energies that we discover up here. Your starting point, Aquarius, is morality, and this is as it pertains to friendship. So love it, because it's reminding us, this is kind of the vibration of, oh, this is good, that is bad, this is right, that is wrong, right? Well, with a true friendship, like I said, none of that really comes into play. So as much as we, want to maybe continue with some connections, if they are making you feel there's a judgment there, that, you know, labeling your actions as good or bad or right or wrong, and being a little decisive in that way, that's something to explore and examine. There should be a loosening of that kind of vibration when it comes to your deepest friendships, right? This should be absent. So I'm feeling that this got pulled first to give you the opportunity to examine some of your connections and make sure that you're not feeling this stringent, restrictive judgment coming, and that it's not coming from you toward them as well. So maybe examine your connections and see where there's less movement, where there is more judgment and less freedom to move about and feel liberated to just say and do yourself, right? In that connection. Within you, yeah, see, we got this understanding card. This is within you. This is the energy that your inner being knows should be replaced, should replace the morality card. So things are not as they, you know, black and white, right and wrong, good or bad. Things just are. And within you, you understand that. And anything that you feel, you know, maybe judging, like, you know, when a judgment comes down from someone, oh, you shouldn't have made that choice. Why did you do that? That feels like a barrier, right? That feels like a barrier has been put up. Look how there's bars in this one and bars in this one, real like kind of hard edged, and you know, creating a barrier between you and the other, or you and your ideas, or you and your hopes, when that judgment comes down, right? And what you're realizing within you is that, no, there is a coming together. There is, you know, there is the best scenario is when there's a coming together and those barriers are dissolved, right? So I can move about freely and move toward the other and toward my ideas with absent of that judgment. And so within you, you're having an idea that there might be some connections that you have that aren't creating this vibration of coming together, and they're a little more stringent and a little more, I would say, sort of transactional, with expectation. And then if you don't behave in a certain way, that's a bad thing, right? That's something to examine in your connections. Now, of course, if your friendships are absent of this, then this is an opportunity for you to sort of rejoice in that and kind of like be very grateful for the free flowing of ideas and thoughts and acceptance and support between you and your friends. Okay, so externally in your waking world or day-to-day world, yeah, you're seeking the harmony. So this is where the absence of that judgment comes in, is that you have, then when you get to explore what your connections are and kind of, you know, move toward those that have less of this judgment and move away from those that have more of it. And maybe, I don't know if you would want to end a friendship or just create a little distance, right? That helps you to move back into your full alignment. This is the key. This is what a true friend wants for you at all times, right? Is that harmony. Mind, body, spirit are fully aligned. Whether or not that alignment looks the same for your friend, it may look different for them, but knowing that you are in your alignment is what, you know, fulfills your friend's wishes for you, right? They only want the best for you at all times. So this is interesting, the starting point, these three cards, because it's giving you an opportunity to examine some of your connections and then make a choice to move toward that harmony, to move toward that alignment, right? And like I said, I'm not saying, you know, find the friends that judge you and then cut them out of your life. That's not what we're doing here, because we don't do harsh. But we are kind of just inviting the opportunity to examine them and kind of go, oh, how does that feel? Do I feel restricted when I share something deep with a certain friend? If I feel restricted and like I'm having to edit things and hold back for fear of how they may respond, that's kind of something to look at, and then to maybe recategorize or realign yourself so that you're just sharing, like they're just to create a little distance between you and that person, so that you're just sharing surface stuff, and that's okay too. Some friendships are not deep and guiding and real like that, but all of them are there to teach us. So if there is someone like that gives more resistance to you than you're used to, that's a lesson too. That maybe teaches you how to deal with resistance and how to proceed in your own alignment, even in the face of someone else's resistance. So that's interesting that those first opening cards help you establish. And look how this morality card, which is a mental energy, is sandwiched between two water cards, which are emotions. So how you feel within and without and fully aligned is the most important thing in whatever connection you're examining. Your feelings about it, it's really important. It's kind of easy to be in the presence of someone that uses judgment a lot, that labels things, and this is that, black and white, and if you're in the vicinity of someone like that, it's kind of easy sometimes to respond in kind, to kind of go, well, here's my labels about that, and even just claiming, well, you're being judgmental is a judgment, right? So it's kind of interesting, but really what we want you to do is move more into the feeling of it. Like, how does that feel to be around this person? And of course, there are some that don't bring this on into the scene at all. And those are, the ones that help you find your alignment quicker, and that you feel a little more liberated to share and move and deepen that connection without fear of being judged or thought of in a certain way or whatever. So that's important. But yeah, every friend is in your life for a reason. So that's interesting. It's just a matter of how much depth you want to share with each connection. And that gets to be your choice, right? You're the creator of that. Okay, so let's move forward here. And this card here is going to be your key to getting to a higher level of understanding about the friendships. Now, some of you may be just thinking friendships in general. You might want to take each friendship, each connection you have one by one, and kind of examine it and give it a little bit of a once over and see, how does this one make me feel as it pertains to feeling judged or whatever. Or if I feel like I'm judging them, right? That's kind of something that we want to examine and smooth over. Okay, and then moving forward, the key there is this conditioning card. So remember, this is how you're seen by others may or may not match and align with how you see yourself, right? This lion had been born into, he was orphaned into a group of sheep, a flock of sheep, grew up with them, played with them, did all the things. Then one day went to drink in the pond and saw a lion looking back at him, thinking, wow, this is how they see me. Because he was just thinking, oh, I'm white and fluffy too, just like all the sheep. And it was kind of an awakening, like, whoa, they see me differently than I feel. So this is just for you to acknowledge, examine, and decide really if I'm seen as my full self, if my connections and my friends that I have and that I engage with fully, if I feel fully seen, I'm good, right? I can, that's great. If I don't feel fully seen, or if I feel fully misunderstood or like there's just a different perception of who I am and what I stand for, then that's something to consider and to examine and to maybe pivot away from. because that pulls your alignment out, right? And it's funny how that card came right after the alignment, the harmony card, because some people they create disharmony by, like we said, by judging and kind of being the morality police. It's kind of, and really it's, like I said, if you rely on your feelings and what your instinct and your intuition tells you about any connection, you really can't go wrong, because then you'll know how much to give, how deep to go, how long to keep the connection. You know that if you rely on your feelings and how it feels, you really can't go wrong. But yeah, the key to moving forward is to just kind of think about those connections you have that may see you differently than you actually feel from within. Okay, now we get to this level here, this higher consciousness kind of vibration, and I've got existence. So now you get to realize, in one way, yeah, I have connections and friendships, and they are super valuable to me. And also, I am, and each of those people in my life are pretty much, star seeds. Like, we are all here connected as one in this universe. Although on this planet, in the human form, we tend to kind of forget that connection. We forget that sort of all-encompassing oneness that is really always there. We sort things out and we label them, and this is good and that's bad, and this is my home and that's your home. And really the truth is, wherever you are, your soul is home. And that is a beautiful way to be in a deep friendship, is that you're feeling like your soul is always home, right? I love that. You get to get this higher perspective on the connection that maybe other people don't always really examine. Maybe the thought of a higher spiritual conscious self is kind of more lone wolf, and not really thinking of it as how connected we really all are. Even if we're not seeing eye to eye as human beings on this planet, we're still connected. Our energy still is. And the ones that we don't see eye to eye with are there for us, to expand and grow. Okay, internally, I pulled patience, and then the final card is We Are the World. This is awesome. This is kind of more of that vibration. For you, Aquarius, you may feel that some of your friendships aren't hitting the mark. Like, they're not really quite, I'm not saying they're not good, but they're not fully aligned with you. And perhaps this is once you've reached sort of a higher consciousness, a higher level of perceiving life, and as your soul evolves, sometimes those connections don't see it the same as you, or they don't evolve along with you, or they don't understand you're evolving. They don't understand where you're headed with your soul's growth. And sometimes that requires a little bit of patience on your part to allow for them to kind of catch up or absorb, and get used to the idea that you're shifting and you're growing and you're changing. Some friendships fall off when you evolve, and when you ascend to another level of understanding from the soul's perspective. Some real life friendships just don't sustain that, but some do. So I would say, take your time, as you evolve and you realize, right, we're all connected. I'm always home wherever I am, whoever's in front of me, my soul is always home. Then let it play out, let things play out, because some friendships will feel threatened by that growth. But it's okay, because like I said, they're here for a year or they're here for a lifetime. They're all there for you, to teach you and to enhance your experience here. And then your overview and your outcome is we're the world. This is that vibration of we're all connected. There is a oneness that threads through all of us. And we get to enjoy that just by being, just by this existence vibration. We get to enjoy that connection and knowing. This is, of course, once you're evolving your understanding a little bit more, right, on a higher level. Okay, so now I'm going to pull one card for you just to kind of cap this off, something a little bit different from this deck called Notes from the Universe. So let's see, what does your soul want you to know? And this could be about as it regards to your friendships, or it could be just another topic altogether. You decide that, right? But I'm going to pull you one message from the universe, kind of a love note. And I got, you have more options than you realize. Oh, I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, you're always, that does pertain to this friendship vibe, because if there are friendships that you feel are in jeopardy or are inhibiting your soul's growth, then it doesn't, like we said, it doesn't mean cut them off and that's it. It just, there's more options, there's more nuances and ways to respond to that. And like, you could create a little distance, you could take a pause and then come back to it. There's all kinds of ways to navigate through some of this stuff. But as far as that deep friendship goes, that is, it's a valuable thing to hold in this lifetime, and it's beautiful. And I love you guys, and I love you too, Patty. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon, and thank you for being here.